Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me okay? Good morning, good morning. I just figured I'm done for today, so may as well start up the stream, you feel me? Let's go over a small trade recap of this morning. I'll find the Vonna cheat sheet. Can you send it out? Let me... I thought it was pinned. Yeah, it's pinned. So when you're in Discord, just click in the main trade chat, just click the pinned messages. Alrighty. Alright. You guys want to see a trade review from this morning? Or do you want to save it for later tonight? Remember, class every single freaking day this week. Stream every single day this week. Do you guys miss the opening stream public? Oh yeah. Possible trade idea, retest 5100 and short to 5075. Wouldn't be bad, but I'm personally done for today. One thing that I've been trying to do is take my trade and then walk away. But essentially, here's the trade. We take a look at the data, right? We obviously see 5100 is the biggest bar. Why did I not hold for more? I'm asking myself that too right now, because it's just, we hit 5100 on SPX, so I figured no need to want for more and get greedy. So I was like, okay. So pretty much we were pushing up in the middle, or in the morning as we opened, right? So with that being said, we know the target and the bias is 5100. So we're targeting downside, correct? Okay, now let's look for how we would enter. Right? I've showed you guys this many times, whether it's fibs, VP, whatever the situation is. Right? So in this case, we have both. We have a zone right here for short. On top of that, we have a relative low volume node, right, in comparison to the rest. Right? So we have two things of confirmation. We have our bias to the downside and our target for the downside, right? 5100. So with that being said, right here, see? And then I'll flip to 1 minute so it's a little more clean. Right here at 9:55 Eastern. 9:55 Eastern. Let me flip to 1 minute, sorry. 9:55, we got close enough to 5100 where I was like, okay, I'm going to take it off, right? So that's literally it. Something super simple, very basic, very clean. Right, we have our biggest bias, which is 5100. And apologies for the newsletter. I had forgotten to add the people who signed up. But if you're a member of Traderlink, essentially you should have gotten those. But yeah, does that make sense, guys? Very simple, right? You have 5100 as your price target, and then you find your reason of entry, right? We had a low volume node on the 5 minute, a relative one, and then we also had fib short. So for me, it just made a lot of sense to go short, right? There's no other GEX pickup too, right? If you look at the rest of the chart, there's literally nothing else of significance above us. And I know we have news coming out this week and tomorrow, I think even. So for me, it just doesn't make sense to also hold very much longer, just given that the anticipation will probably lead to slower moves, despite being in a negative exposure environment. But still, I think overall, very good trade, very simple. That was give or take 10 points on ES. First trim was on this candle, 51.10 for like a quick 5 points. I think my average was like 51.14.5, right around there, in between 51 this and that. So like, I remember it being like somewhere like right here. Yeah. So then we trimmed on the way down. And then, yeah, very simple trade. And I guess you can kind of see how easy the execution is. It's just came up here, enter, came up here, enter, right? Low volume node on the 5 minute, fib short on the 5 minute, and target the downside, right? And then when we tap the downside, you trim on the way down, etc. Do what you feel is right. And yeah, very simple trade. Q definitely would have paid a little bit more, but didn't tap it. So for me, that didn't make sense to enter. Does that make sense, guys? I feel like that was easy enough. How sad, man. If the stream ain't at the open, we don't have a chance of hitting 100 plus. Should I just bring back the opening stream? it's hard for me to trade and stream at the same time, if that makes sense, guys. That's the biggest thing, is like my trading was getting slightly affected, but what are we sitting at? 50.93 already? Jeez. I'm gonna move. Yes, thanks. It really is easier. Why can I not read this? Yeah, it's don't get me wrong, we could have caught a lot more points, but we're not here for that, right? We're here to catch part of the move. Feeling like trying to catch the entire move has gotten me nowhere with my trading. I think that was one of the biggest things, is like, we're not here to catch the entire move. If you can catch the entire move, call it lucky, in my opinion. Because every single time, right, if your target is this, then why do you need more? I think that was one of the biggest hurdles for me to get over, is like, oh, I just want to capture a big move or the entire move. No, that's not how shit works. It's near impossible to catch the entire move sometimes. So you have your target for the day, and pretty much it. Like, I can see us potentially even hitting whatever this is on ES. This level. So another like 10 points on the SPX potentially for the downside. Keep in mind, right, with the negative exposure, you're prone to V-shape recoveries. Partial exit with a runner, but even then, it's like, for me, sometimes having one singular runner is not worth my time. In terms of how much you make off of that one singular runner, which is why I never really cared for runners all that much, but that's just me. Yeah, you can get a big percentage win, blah blah blah, but if that last runner is only worth $100, like, personally, I could care less even if it hits 1,000%. I think that's my 2 cents, where it's like, it just doesn't, sometimes it's like, it's not worth it. Can you share your settings for VP again? Yeah, I used it's literally on that the OK guys, you know, Trade guys. Thank you. Well, okay, so my thing was, last week I traded NQ with too much size, and I'm realizing that with these funded accounts, you don't have much room even with the $3,000 drawdown, right? Where it's like, if you size 3 lots of NQ, okay, let me open up a spreadsheet really quick. Empty spreadsheet, right? So one lot amount dollar per, right? You have 1 lot, 2 lot, 3 lot, 4 lot, 5 lot, right? And then this is 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 for every $1 move, right? So if you have, and then your max drawdown is $3,000, right? So let's put that to perspective. Equals this divided by this $150 drawdown. Why is this not equal to this? That's why it wasn't working. Right? Does this kind of make sense? Yeah, for futures, can be 30 or 50% position. Yeah, it's just my trading style, right? I'm not here to catch like big moves. I don't think that's ever been, I used to want to, but every single time I realized that I wanted to, that's what kind of fucked me up. Like, don't get me wrong, we still caught 516 down to 516.5 down to 551.06.5 with one lot, which is $500 a lot, with trims along the way. So it's like understanding how much you're able to make, and to me an extra like 10 like 5 points, not even 10, right? Because we were 2 points away, so an extra 2 points is literally $100 on ES. So for me, I could care less about that one last runner. But yeah, so this is pretty much like what you're limited to. This is NQ. With ES, it's a little bit better. So like for $1 it's 50, 100, 150, 200, 250. This is pretty much your drawdown amount for each one. So like sizing 10 lots, like my risk on that trade was high of day, right? So we had been pushing up all the way here. So we go back to 1 minute. It's a little bit easier to see, right? Why is this not loading? Okay, well, this is 5100 right here, like right around here, 2 points below, right? We'll just call this, right? So that's pretty much the target in the sense of like that, the risk to reward was right about here. I think average was like right here. So risk 5 points, target 5100. So still like a pretty decent trade, a little bit under a 2R. And as you can see right now, we're getting that relative V-shaped recovery, which is another reason why it's like makes it tougher to hold a short, especially on a negative day where it's like there is no defined bottom with these, because it can kind of just go either way, right? So this is still a relatively good trade. Not the greatest by any means, but still pretty decent in that sense. Yeah, well, for sorry, this is max drawdown. This should be daily max. Daily max of 3,000. So like this is pretty much like your risk exposure if you want to put it to perspective. You get $60 for one lot, and it just decreases pretty exponentially, right? Like one lot of NQ is pretty good. It's not that bad. You get a $150 point stop loss and whatnot. But when it comes to just like NQ versus ES, right? 60 points, 150 points. NQ can move 150 points low key, but if you have 5 lots or even 3 lots, 50 points is like 2 candles on NQ, which is sometimes really annoying. So you can get stopped out pretty quickly. I usually size 3 lots, but I'm slowly realizing that every single time I would size 3 lots without a picture perfect entry, it wouldn't be great. Did someone say V-shaped recovery? Yes, sir. We're slowly getting that right now. Are we not? Yeah, see? V-shaped recovery back to 5100. Right? That's the relative problem. Not problem, but difficulty with trading negative. What is Gex Flip today? Gex Flip, when I was looking earlier, was at 5140. So it's very high. Is it still there? Yeah, still 5135, 5140. So like on the chart wise, it's pretty high up there. What is the Gex Flip today? Adjusted says 5075. Raw is unclear. Raw is 5135. Even de-adjusted is, you have some negative here, but you have one positive like up here at 5075. But I wouldn't base it upon like, I think Gex Flip for de-adjusted isn't as important personally, but that's just me. I still use raw pretty much religiously. Yeah, overall we caught our one play for the day. We're up 1600 on like 3 accounts, but 2 of the accounts are what do you call it, combines. They're not live. Only one of them's live. Like this is the live account, 1683. It's not a terrible day, also not the best, but good enough. But yeah, this is pretty much like, if you want a cheat sheet, you guys can just screenshot that or look back at this. This is pretty much like, I guess, how you do it. I don't think it's OPEX week. OPEX is next Friday, not this Friday. Talk about nailing that V-shaped recovery, am I right? Light V. Obviously not to the fucking top. This is more like a partial L. I don't doubt that we get a little bit lower today, but I don't really care. Nailed the trade. Perfect execution today on my part, in my opinion. How was everyone's weekend? Did anyone do anything fun this weekend? Did anyone do anything exciting? I went bowling and realized that I fucking suck. OPEX this month isn't. No. It's next week, guys. Guys, it's the third Friday of every single. Wait, yeah, it's this week. Or the 22nd. Wait, it's option stop trading. Is it really the 15th? Am I stupid? Someone clarify, please. Oh shit, no wonder. Dude, this week is jam fucking packed. Damn, dude. I didn't know it was OPEX this week. What a week to end off before vacation. No wonder we have just ginormous exposure at 5,000. No wonder March 1st was a Friday. That's my bad. Okay, well, that's interesting to see. We are in negative exposure now for OPEX week. 5,000, huge divergence, right? Oh, dude, I never hold runners. Honestly, it's just understanding like your own execution, your own personality, and for me, it's like I know myself. I'm not a big person on holding. I have my target, and I will pretty much trim or exit at that target. And for the rest of the day, at this point, is like, what's the point in making yourself feel like shit for it? I think that's, I recently got asked this. I was like, why do you seem so cold? Or like, by one of my friends. And I'm like, honestly, like trading, there's so much emotions. Like if you kind of get used to being cold, it's really kind of, at a certain point it's kind of bad, but it's you become kind of emotionless at a certain point, but I think that's good. I'm slowly trying to get away from that idea of like, oh, could have held for a lot more, blah blah blah, right? I think you catch your move, who gives a shit about the rest? You're not meant to catch the entire move. If you're always trying to catch the entire move, you're always gonna get fucked, in my opinion. Plus, it's like a nice, it's nice to look at when you have like one trade for the day. All right, today. Oh, I need to do this week, so I took a trade last night. But 2 trades. It says 5, but that's not the case. It's because I trimmed. So, see, sell. This was an average in 40 longer trades, but still good. Not really complaining. Wow, I really didn't know this Friday was OPEX. That's annoying. I don't know about you, but we nailed the. And those people saying Apex AI was wrong. Apex AI was at 5105 for price magnet. Suck nuts, bro. That shit was right. I'm trying to find a photo of Gio and I. Gio and I don't have very many photos together. This is too good. One second, guys. I'm posting something for Gio. Uno momento, por favor, friends. All right, one second, guys. I just posted something. It's loading, and then I'm gonna send it in here. Let me read. Catch up a chat. You timed vacay right? Yeah, I really did. The only exception Friday rule is NFP if it fails first. Okay, interesting. Load the analysis. Cold as ice. Thank you very much. What is the price magnet based on? Cannot speak about that. If I would, it would give it all away. AI nailed it today. Kept me in longer. Yeah, it's the AI is great still. Like people say it doesn't work, but it still does. I'm not gonna sit here and say it doesn't work. It really does. All right, can we go fucking blow up this post, please? Like absolutely just blow up this post. I better see. We have fucking 39 people here. I better see 39 likes. Come on. That's too fucking funny, bro. There's coming in hot with that V-shaped recovery. This is why shorting a negative gamma exposure level, not the best. Right? We talk about it being an accelerant, so why would you short it with knowing that it could potentially just push right through? You showed me the camera. You nailed the V-shaped recovery recently. Yeah, I mean I've noticed you call that out with yeah, every single time. You're prone to V-shaped recoveries because market dealers are pretty much trading with price action, right? So whatever the institutions are doing, market dealers are also following along. So like if institutions decide to start buying, then market dealers are also going to do that too, right? That's just a very basic characteristic of a negative exposure environment. It just makes the most sense to not really short like negative exposure levels, right? Especially if you're pushing up to one. If it's a positive exposure environment, then it's a little bit different, right? Then market dealers are basically trading against PA. So if dealers are, or if market makers are longing, then market dealers are pretty much shorting that move, right? So that's where you get that slower move. But we're not in a positive exposure environment. So with that being said, that's why, in my opinion, it's not a great idea to short that 5100 on SPX, right? It just doesn't make sense. If you look at the data, it literally shows a giant negative exposure bar, 5100. So it's pretty much going to be going through that throughout the day. Damn, that's a good clip. Sign me up. Alrighty. Is there, yeah, you can use fibs going down, but I'm personally, right, I don't have my money on the line right now. So for me, I'm not taking a trade. Or take what I'm saying with a grain of salt since my money isn't on the table, right? It would be different if my money's on the table, but it's not right now because I'm not in anything, and I don't plan on being in anything again for the rest of the day. But wouldn't it go through 5100 down? Yeah, it would go. It would go through both ways, right? It's just not, in my opinion, it's not as high probability as playing a positive exposure level. So for me, it doesn't make the most sense to play it, right? We're here to play higher probability trades. So knowing that 5100 could go through, could potentially bounce, right? It's not the most ideal setup. It is not the most ideal probability. So for me, I'm not taking that trade, right? Sometimes it's just watching the price action and potentially gauging what could happen. And you can take mental trades, right? 5100, then we flip back to SPX, right? We're just, as you can tell, we're kind of going through it over and over again. We had this, where's my brush? Right, went right through, came back up. This is probably the one time we rejected it, right? And then went right through it again, went right through it again. So like the moves, so put it this way, right? When Gio and I say trending moves, it's not really, we're not focused on just one giant down day, right? I think the better days are mostly defined by clean trending moves, right? This is a clean trending move to the downside. This is a clean trending move to the upside. Clean trending move to the downside. Clean trending move to the upside, right? There isn't much noise in between it, right? Same thing with, oh, where's my brush tool? Same thing with this right here, right? Clean move to the downside, right? These moves are very sure shot with not much happening in between. And that comes with negative exposure environments, right? So if you have your fib, then it would make sense to potentially play this, right? But we didn't get close enough to it, or we didn't tap it. So, you know, even if you had limit orders here on ES, right, it wouldn't have filled. But that's what we mean by trending days. A lot of people kind of mistake it for like, oh, an absolute sure shot to the downside or like an absolute sure shot to the upside, right? No, that's not what we define as trending moves. Our trending moves are moves like this, where it's just clean path, where it's like, okay, you have a clean move to the downside, then you have a clean move back to the upside, you have another clean move to the downside, you have another clean move to the upside, right? These moves are very, very clean, very, very clean, where you can kind of get in, get out, right? That's what we like in terms of trending moves. But and that comes with the volatility of a negative exposure environment, right? Big move down, big move up, big move down, big move up, right? It's not so much, oh, dealers, keep in mind, dealers are not the ones back in 2022 and 2023. There was more yes, there was a ton more, literally, like, yeah, there were a ton more days. Like pretty much if you look at an SPX chart, you can kind of already imagine pretty much every single red day is a negative exposure environment. Every green day is likely to be positive exposure. But the thing is like these negative exposure days were much bigger. Like if you look at the data right now, we're negative 11. Like this is still a good amount, right? But we had days where we were like negative 30. So it's tough to be like, oh, I think we get a pretty good negative, like bigger negative days like that. But yeah, these moves are very, very volatile. NQ is not as clean, right? Why? Because there isn't much gamma exposure that affects that NQ. I mean, this is still like, this trade does happen, maybe. But I don't know. I personally don't want to take another trade. We nailed the one trade in the morning, and that's all really, in my opinion, is needed. And plus, I have to catch up on some busy work after. after the stream. I should be typing out stuff. Monday. $7:44. 7:44. And there's my destiny. She said, dance with me. Do you personally still use Vana? You're not talking about it a lot now compared to old stream. Not as much lately. Why? Because I'm realizing that the simplicity of just Gex has been working very well for me. Also, there haven't been very many like big exposure bars where it's like 50, 75. Hold that thought. Not entirely wrong. Not entirely true. Let me check the deltas on these. I just haven't been using it because it's like I said, the simplicity of my trading lately has been benefiting me just off of that. So we're at -16 the lower we go. Woman is my destiny, she said. $51.25. Move above. Yeah. Okay, so that is your Vana levels. So if IV goes up, both mixed. Okay, this adds more to conviction of a relative pinning effect around 5100, right? Because if IV goes up, this is a sell and a buy, right? If IV comes up, then dealers are going to buy this up. But if IV goes down, dealers buy down here, meaning they push it up and they sell. Okay. Okay, so think of it like this, right? We know the structure of overall volatility during the day. Let me make sure that this is right. So if IV goes down, right, which it should inherently go down just given the overall structure of the day, right, as we get closer and closer to that time period, right, of lunch hour. So if IV is going down and dealers are selling here, right, that will drive it down. If IV goes down here, right, dealers are buying it up, right, meaning push it back towards this area. So with the overall structure of volatility decreasing as you get closer to lunch hour after the open, right, it would make sense for dealers to kind of pin it around this 5100 level. Does that help a little bit in the sense of like how to visualize it? Man, actually this stream has only 47 people, but there's a lot of little golden nuggets here. There's a lot of good clips. I'm gonna have to rewatch this and go back. So hopefully I don't make this one too long then. Can you explain that again? Okay, so as one more another explanation's sake, right? I wish I could delete like the ones that I want versus just the lines. This is the con of using the app instead of just a drawing, because now I have to. Okay, so with the overall structure of volatility, show Traderlink screen at the same time. God, you guys are so demanding. So demanding. You want this, you want that. Why isn't it what I want? Show examples of IV going up or down. I mean, I'm just drawing it out, right? Just there isn't really an example. I don't know. Anyways, just pay close attention, guys. I'll say it a little bit slower, right? So in both situations, we're understanding the overall term structure of IV throughout the day, right? As we get closer to lunch hour, IV goes what? IV goes down, right? From lunch, right? Does that make sense? Right? So if we know that IV goes down, then we follow this. IV down, right? So as we push up and the current delta is at 0.16, this delta will start increasing, right? As the delta increases, the Vana impact is at 0.2 and minus 0.2 for the most impactful. So we understand that as we push up, the delta will increase, right? And we know that IV goes down pretty much after the open till lunch, correct? That means dealers will sell, meaning this will be pinned lower down, right? And then as you go lower, right? Let's say we go lower, then this delta goes to minus 0.2, right? And if that delta goes to minus 0.2 and per the Vana impact curve, what happens is that the Vana impact will pick up, and if IV is coming down, and then based on the term structure right here, right, dealers will start buying. That means that we are relatively pinned to this 5100 area. Does that make sense? Bada bing, bada boom. Nailed it. I hope that made sense because I'm not drawing it out again after deleting it 30 times. This shit takes forever to delete. God, I have the urge to short this, but I'm not going to. Why? Another reason, risk to reward. We're 6 points away from 5,100, the magnet of the day. Not worth my time, but it could be still worth my time, you know? Really want to short this, but I'm gonna hold off on that. How's NQ look? NQ doesn't look as hot. Do I want to fill this? No. You guys are witnessing the mental battle of discipline that goes on in my head every single day when trading. It's like, do I want to fill this? No. You said you wouldn't, so you're not going to. Much as I would want to, we're not going to do it. Also refer to positive on a below price and negative on above price. Yeah, those are... Bro, this is... Matt Edmonds, man. You helping me clip farm, low key. You're giving me like, okay... Gotta talk about it, talk it through, like specify everything. You're helping me a lot. Thank you. Like I'm not being sarcastic about it. Thank you for bringing it up. It's definitely helping me in the sense of like what to think of. Okay, see, thank goodness we didn't go short there. R to R did not make sense, right? If you look at SPX, we would have gone short, right, at the fib. Why did R to R not make sense, right? Let's get a short position on here. We took an entry right here. Our R to R is right here. And our R to R is right here. Right, that's like barely over 2. Even if you like squished it down and everything, right? You're barely at a good RR, right? Does that kind of make sense on why we didn't want to take that trade? There are no class from liquid other staff members when you'll be on vacation, right? No, they will. There will be classes. They can run whatever the fuck they want. You just have to bother them enough for them to be like, hey, fine, we'll help you. But I'll give them access to the Zoom so they can kind of just upload and record and do all that stuff if they do want to run a class. So we'll get to that. I need to make sure, and plus Gio's still here. It's not like Gio's not here, you know. I know, you guys will miss me, but sometimes you can't have it all. Yeah, Gio will still be here. Liquidos, Fatty, Jason will still be here. It'll be kind of organized more through them, but it's not like I'm not gonna be active. Keep that in mind. Like I will be active because it's not like you can't really just, although it's vacation mode, it's just I'm not gonna be streaming. So you can still message me, you can still at me in the chat. Actually, don't message me. You can at me in the chat and whatnot. Gio took a vacation a while ago. He went to Japan. Forgot when he went to Japan, though. He doesn't like traveling as much. And plus, I'm going with family. It's like a family vacation, so it's not really like me traveling. I do want to go to New York still. I want to plan a trip in New York, but it's who knows, maybe. Thank you. Yeah, it's been like what, all of quarter 3 pretty much. I missed 1 week out of all of quarter 3 streaming, right? It's not like I wasn't working during that time, it's just I didn't want to stream for that 1 week, so I was getting exhausted. But yeah, a full quarter of not missing a stream other than that 1 week that's a lot. It's a lot of work. I think people kind of forget like streaming and trading is tough. Most Signal Discords nowadays don't even do it because it's tough having to wake up and then be in front of that many people. Also, like losing in front of that many people is not the nicest feeling. Yeah, I mean, it's not, I don't believe in like, oh, needing a break, but look, if I'm traveling with like family, I'm not gonna, especially if it's like overseas, it's a little bit different, right? Because the time zones are different. In Taiwan, it was easier because it was nighttime, right? Then I can kind of like do my own thing at nighttime. So whether if that's me taking a trade or whatever at night, it's a little bit different. But like, I think in Europe, it's like, what is market open time there? I think if it was in the afternoon, so I didn't want to do that. Like, if I'm out and walking around or shopping, I'm not going to take a trade. Italy time 14:30. Yeah, like that's fucking wild. I'm not trading at 2:30 in the afternoon if I'm sitting at a fucking Louis Vuitton sipping champagne. Like, no thanks, bro. Let you know. Let you know. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna end the stream here. Been trying to keep them shorter and more to the point, and especially if I'm not like trading and there isn't much expectation for the day. I don't want to sit here and waste people's time. So with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, class today. Before sending or closing the stream off, what time do you guys prefer? 5 p.m. PST or 6 p.m. PST? Me personally, I prefer 5 p.m. PST because it gives me time after to do dinner for myself and kind of relax a little bit shorter and not have to go sleep the next hour after. But yeah. Do you guys like 5 or 6 p.m. PST? No problem, guys. 5 p.m. Okay, cool. We'll do 5 p.m. PST then. I feel like you guys are only saying it because I brought it up, but thank you. So with that being said, thank you guys. I'm gonna end the stream here. Thank you for tuning in, and as always, keep moving forward. Thank you guys. I will see you guys for class tonight.